you read the title, you know what this is about. Jill Stein is being investigated by the Senate Investigating Committee looking into whether or not the Russians tried to, rig our elections. What the fuck is that about? It's just Russia, Russia, Russia with these people. And it's like, did what, did what, did what. Now they're dragging Jill Stein. Jill Stein was a third-party candidate, the Green Party, who has been a scapegoat of the Democrats as to why Hillary lost. Because Jill Stein, if her people had voted for Hillary Clinton, Hillary would have won here or there. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Most people just think that this is fucking McCarthyism. I mean, it's bad for Jill Stein in terms of, there's a picture of her sitting at the same table as Vladimir Putin and General Flynn. But honestly, you can probably find some pictures with Donald Trump with all sorts of shady characters. You can find pictures of Hillary Clinton with a lot of shady characters. And with Hillary Clinton, a lot of shady world dictators, whatever, because she was Secretary of State and she was a senator. A high roller, so she meets all sorts of people. Same with Donald Trump as far as the business side. But why is it that when Jill Stein, this third-party candidate, sitting at the same table as Vladimir Putin, oh my God, she has to be a Russian agent? It's like these people outside, these sort of establishments can't be talking to these world leaders, whoever they are, Putin, the Prime Minister of Canada, because that makes them agents of the foreign governments. But, and, it's like, I don't give a shit at this point because, quite honestly, I don't think people give a shit about foreign influence in our elections at all. And this whole thing is just, once again, an excuse by the Democrats as to why they lost. We shouldn't give a shit. I don't like the idea of foreigners mixing in our elections. But, people are pretty selective on when they're outraged by it. It's sort of like, where's money? Is there money coming in from somewhere like Saudi Arabia or Israel? Donald Trump thinks that they're bussing in voters from Mexico. And, it's no one asks the questions, really looks into it. It was that. Here's why I don't think Jill Stein is a fucking Russian agent. First off, she's the third. What the fucking point would it be for Vladimir Putin to get in bed with a third fucking party candidate? Oh, because she's like an extreme liberal. She'll take away votes from Hillary Clinton. No, she will not. People who will vote for Jill Stein will never vote for fucking Hillary Clinton. All right? Quit thinking in terms of right and left. It's a jigsaw. Our political landscape is a jigsaw. Some pieces touch, some pieces are just worlds apart. And that's the case with Green Party and Democrats. Maybe all the Bernie Sanders voters who didn't want to vote for Hillary Clinton went over to Jill Stein. But if Jill Stein wasn't there, they would have gone with whatever candidate the Green Party had, or they just would have sat at home and just been in a pissy mood. And this is what sort of angers me is with the Democrats. Constantly, they're just trying to drive into this idea that your vote counts. You'll make your voice heard. Voting is important. You have power in voting until they don't get the results they want. And then they start making up excuses saying that we're all stupid, that we read all these conspiracy theories. That's the most amazing part of this, is that they think that these Trump people read conspiracy theories, which maybe they do, they do. I have friends on Facebook who are Trump supporters. A lot of the news they bring back up was conspiracy theories, but here they are thinking the Russian government and Donald Trump and Jill Stein are concluding against Hillary Clinton. They don't want to listen to the people unless the people are kissing their ass. They don't. It's That's why they lost. Or did they just couldn't figure out the electoral college? Because she gets the popular vote, so she listened to enough people, but at the end of the day, that's just not how the system works. Still, how the fuck is a season? Oh, that's just... You know what's even weirder is how this is kind of mirroring some stuff that's going on with Rotten Tomatoes, Star Wars, SJWs, Disney, and the alt-right, where Star Wars The Last Jedi, which I thought was one of the best goddamn Star Wars movie ever, got a pretty marginal score. 54 with the audience, but the critics gave it 93. How could the audience give it 54? So they've decided that the alt-right hacked in to Rotten Tomatoes or created a whole bunch of dummy pages so they could just keep voting The Last Jedi down because they didn't like its SJW messages with diversity and women in power. And it's a fake. You can only trust the critics. And some site that I guess they say it scored higher. It's like, no, like I said, I came out of that movie theater thinking Last Jedi was the greatest Star Wars film ever, and it would be the most divisive, and it'd be like almost like a 50-50 split. And of course, Disney, they just can't accept a 54% from the audience. That means 40% or 46% is against them. And considering how much money they put into this and how shady they are with it, with like the theaters, the only way you could show it is if you give them 65% of the ticket money, and you have to keep Last Jedi playing for 4 weeks, because that's how pompous they were, that they thought this was the greatest Star Wars film ever. Yes, it was, and everyone would love it. No, that's not the case. So they're not going to get 4 weeks of Last Jedi being number one on account of this marginal score on Rotten Tomatoes. So the propaganda wheels start turning. Of course, the film critics are going to take Disney's side because they want to stay relevant. They're kind of like the mainstream media, who also came off looking crazy stupid last year because they thought Hillary had it. So they'll go along with this whole Jill Stein, it's all her fault, Russian agent bullshit, because they just can't accept that people didn't like Hillary Clinton. And Disney can't accept that people didn't like their last Star Wars film. And of course, they got to demonize the people who didn't like it. As, in this case, they're fanboys, it's all fake. Yeah, it's like fake Facebook news sites, fake Rotten Tomato scoring things. And what you have is just not some giant conspiracy, it's just a bunch of shoddy motherfuckers who just can't accept, defeat or just criticism. Because I watched a lot of reviews, and there's a lot of people who just didn't like this last Star Wars film. It's kind of ironic because I could talk to these people. Some of them are my friends, and basically everything they hated was everything I loved. It doesn't turn into a fist match. But no, not with Disney. No. It's the battle of the SJWs, diversity and inclusivity and women power against these self-entitled man boy white alt-right cisgender males, except as far as an SJW film, Last Jedi just sucked at that. It was just mind-boggling how terrible it is. I mean, if you want to go for like a white woman feminism message, it had it perfectly. But at the end of the day, Luke Skywalker, the white guy, has to save everyone, and he doesn't even show up. Spoiler alert. He just phones it in, which I thought was fucking amazing. When everyone's like, "Why didn't he show up in person?" It's like, because he doesn't have to. He's Luke fucking Skywalker. He can just sit down, meditate, and send a fucking hologram across the galaxy just to, fuck around with Kylo Ren. And people didn't think that was good enough. That was fucking awesome. I was, so ready to do a bunch of videos defending The Last Jedi, but now that I see that The Last Jedi is, they're doing this shady thing where, it's the whole conspiracy. Everyone loves The Last Jedi. It's like, no. You know what? That was the greatest Star Wars film ever. I don't care if they make another one. Let it all burn. Which has really gotten me off track from what I thought was going to be a serious video about how this new level of McCarthyism and just how they try to discredit any discontents, anyone who would speak out against them, because they've also talked about how the Russians are supporting like Black Lives Matter in their ads, stirring up discontent in the United States. And it's like, fuck off. First off, Russians, fuck off. You don't have to get involved. The discontent's already there. They're just trying to delegitimize political organizations that are not with your standard people in power. And people they just want to cling on to relevance, whether it be, the media saying, oh, no, people will listen to us, or these film critics, which, quite frankly, they're just becoming obsolete now that everyone can just do their own and express themselves across the internet about what they saw about a film. But the film critics are like, no, they wouldn't look at it analytically. You're just a bunch of, heathens. You don't know how to do this. It's like, no, you're just a bunch of snobs, and your job is pretty parasitic to begin with. It's like this guy, he's criticizing the audience part of Rotten Tomatoes, saying, oh, well, they just don't know what they're talking about. They were mad because the trailers lied to one. Well, the critics saw the same fucking trailers. So who says that their opinion of going into a movie, they didn't already have it based on the trailers? Whether they thought it was going to be a good film or whether they thought it was going to suck, the trailers lied to them. They saw the same goddamn trailers. Like I said, it's something like with Jill Stein. Oh, Hillary would have gotten those votes. No, she wouldn't have. Jill Stein didn't take voters away. Why do you think that's what happened? She got voters out. As in, it's just a whole other group of people who came into the election on account of Jill Stein. And like I said, she's had dinner with Vladimir Putin. Yeah. Yeah, that's our politics. It's just terrible. Selective outrage. And now they're gonna drag that woman before the Congress, to discredit her. And what did she really ever do to them? She just ran with her own fucking ideas and stood by them. Bitch even did them a solid and tried to do some recounts. Maybe she was trolling them because Hillary wouldn't do it because she set it up where Trump was like, I'll challenge it if I don't win. And she goes, oh, who would ever do that? That's not very democratic. And of course, when the recounts would have helped her, Jill Stein had to start the recounts because Jill Stein asked fucking questions. Like, are our votes actually being counted? How do you count them? If I put in the little write-in section, these nuts, does these nuts get counted? Do they even count the third party people? Or is it just about the fucking two main candidates? So that's all they care about. Who knows? Good luck, Joe. And people, just get out and support your local theaters this weekend. Before you have your Christmas, go see Jumanji. And especially go to those fucking smaller theaters who weren't able to screen Star Wars because they wouldn't be able to handle it. Like you've got like one theater in your town. It couldn't have fucking 4 weeks of Star Wars. That wouldn't work out. Like the town, like the theater in this town, in my town, only the megaplexes. So go out and support those fucking small theaters. And let's fucking make Jumanji top an Internet Movie Database. So fucking Disney, well, at the very least, will have to listen to the people who go see their fucking movies. In this case, it's the 46% who didn't like it. Yeah. Your vote matters. Your vote, make your voice heard. Fuck off, Democratic Party. You are so full of shit.